Buddy, episode 124, WIwrestle podcast. What's going on, dude?
Not much. We a little late. We are having our own conversation off air about steroids and peptides, and
then all of a sudden we're like, damn it, it's 9:06.
we probably got to hop on here. Yeah, we were just sitting in the old green room there. So I tell you what, I don't take them, but at the moment my IT band or whatever is a little tight. I didn't think that would solve that issue, but now I'm thinking about it. It's a little sore.
I really dialed in my stack of vitamins. I was very happy with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got your little Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I got a little area in the kitchen with all my stuff. I got my morning vitamins. I got my evening vitamins. Yeah, locking it in.
I take a multivitamin once a day and call it a day.
I take a multivitamin plus vitamin D, fish oil, and then I take fiber, and then in the evening I take magnesium and L-theanine. Get that sleep going, dude. If you take that combo before bed, I used to not sleep at all. Really bad sleeper. Horrible. I've been sleeping like a baby, dude.
I mean, I sleep pretty good as it is. I don't know. So this is a weird thought I've had once or twice. I don't know if I've ever really said it before. You know my personal life pretty well. Compared to like a lot of people in the fitness world industry that are like very like, I'm thinking like above average fit people, right? Like maybe wrestlers or just like workout people sort of thing, you know?
People.
Yeah, but like they're a little bit more than just like your regular one-a-day workout.
Like tune with their body.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, are taking a ton of different supplements or vitamins, and like you said, like you take magnesium, like et cetera, et cetera. Like you're taking a bunch of different things to help you with whether it's sleep or recovery and all these different things, right? I basically take none of that, and I feel like a lot of the times, I mean, maybe I would like physically be bigger or something if I did. I don't know. But like I feel like I take none of that and I have like less issues sometimes than a good handful of people that do take all that stuff. Like you're like, oh, I don't sleep good. It's like, well, I've never taken that and I have good sleep. And like I feel like my people are like, I'm really sore today, or my body is like they're always getting injured or something. And I never feel like I really run into that. And I don't take any. I just eat food and drink water.
Case by case basis, man. Everyone's
different. Interesting thought. I don't know.
Everyone's different. It helps that you do the best thing for your body, which is movement. You do jiu-jitsu, you wrestle, you run. I mean, those are probably three of the best things you can do.
Yeah, I do a lot of, I guess, cross training, if you will.
You lift weights. Movement's medicine. I'll never forget my professor in college. Movement is medicine. But enough of sport physiology. Dude, I love that stuff. Exercise phys, take me back. That's my old major. But anyways, loaded episode today. We're kind of like double podcast. Do we want to say who we're talking to later, or is that going to be a sneak, just kind of release it when we release it? Because we got a fun little recorded podcast later that we're prepping for. But
yeah, we'll post about it when we have it done. We'll have some clips of it.
So be on the lookout for that. But this weekend, we're live from the Norski Invite. I will be at DeForest. Super excited for that. A good grouping of teams. I thought I had a graphic preloaded, but we'll be there. We've got the ranked wrestlers that went out last night. We have new rankings. Those came out yesterday. And then we got some other WIAC stuff coming out later today. So stay tuned for that. But let's just jump right into it. Duffy vlog is out. Very good vlog. A little behind the scenes of what goes on. But overall thoughts on the Duffy. This was our second time streaming the full thing. We did the finals last year. Always a great Friday night event.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun there. I think I don't want to say too much fun because that's not really a thing, too much fun. But sometimes I like, there's so many people there that we get along with or that I just like to talk to, just good people. And from a variety, it's not just the port people, which they are awesome, but like there's just, Aquinas people and Luxembourg Casco people and Oshkosh West and Mugwanago. And it goes on and on of how many like different programs are there that they got good fans that we know, or good coaches and kids and stuff. So I feel like besides the wrestling part of it, I get so distracted sometimes just wanted to just talk to people because I enjoy, we know how much I like to talk. I love talking to people. So it's one of my favorite tournaments of the year for sure. Just outside of the wrestling part, and then we look at the wrestling, and man, it was great. There was a lot of really, really good matches. And then we ended up, we didn't see every one of those big time matches we were hoping for, but we saw plenty of them. And the ones that we did see, win or lose, didn't matter to me. I was very excited to
Good
watch
stuff.
these matches and see how they played out. Yeah. And there's still matches where it's like I've gone back and I just want to watch them again because I can see the score. Maybe it was a 3-1 decision or it was a major decision, whatever it is. It's like, but I want to see how this played out and like go back and rewatch it. Where's the difference in like these guys in the really high level? So, yeah, I really enjoyed it though. What did you think?
It was awesome. A lot of great matches. I think we finally figured out bout clipping. So if you look at the bracket, there is a play button for most of the matches past the quarterfinals. They should be all synced up and lined up, but um, just all around really good matches. A lot of really good semifinals. An interesting team race. I mean, it's kind of just a perfect storm of action for a Friday night event. Um,
Very interesting.
on the team side of things, Casco came away with the title convincingly with 192 points. Port Washington in second place with 152. In third place was McGuanago with 148 and a half. Very close. In fourth was Aquinas, was 144 and a half. And then
That
round
was
the top five was Muskego and Milton were tied with 109 and a half. Little interesting that Aquinas Division Three number one, 13 guys
fourth.
roster. They took fourth. Port is ranked in D2. Casco is ranked in D1. McGuanago was ranked in D1. They slide out. They're right on the cusp, but kind of interesting to look at that team race.
I mean, yeah, it is because Aquinas obviously being the number one team in D3 and they placed fourth at this tournament behind a
And they've
D2
got
team.
so many solid individuals. It's like they have a
Yes,
complete
a lot of
lineup.
solid individuals. They have a full lineup of very good wrestlers,
Well,
and
13 wrestlers.
that's why I'm like, where are they losing the points from? Because you get a guy like Sheard wins it, and a guy like Flaggy in the finals versus Newbert, and a guy like Martin destroys every right, and then they have Paulson and
Martin, and Hargrove.
well,
They have a lot of.
yeah, like, they have a lot of other guys that are either in the finals or like doing well. So it's like, where are they? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, where the heck are they not getting the points from that these other teams are? And so that's interesting to me just because, yes, as you said, they are number one in D3, but they behind an unranked team, and then number 7 in D2 and number 6 or something like
Or it
that. I
came to
can't.
play, man. They wrestled well.
They did wrestle well, and they got a big duel here tomorrow night against
Wasco.
Kewaskum, conference duel as well, and that's between 7 and 8 in the state. So that's a massive duel coming up in Kewaskum.
Interesting to note, not a single team in the field with a full lineup.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that this year.
I think
The
at the Stack
13
there was maybe
wrestlers,
3
12
teams with a
wrestlers.
full lineup of like
Yeah.
26.
Did McGuanago not have 14 on Friday?
So the teams with no 14s, there was a couple teams with 13 competitors: Casco, Aquinas, McGuanago, Oak Creek, Watertown, and that's it.
See, and you see this a ton at
Like
every
Verona had 4 athletes, but they were getting hit with that flu bug. We talked to Coach about
yeah.
that. They got hit hard with that. So there's a lot of teams with that going around.
Yeah, but still, whether it's right now or the beginning of the season, I feel like you very rarely see the full 14
Oh,
lineup. Maybe that's a different discussion to be had. Maybe like so our events we do 13, right? 13 for dual tournaments and weight classes and stuff. Maybe it might be time to make that shift and take out a weight class because I know people are like, well, you're taking a varsity spot away. Most of these teams don't fill all 14.
yep.
Better than a forfeit. You go find me a team that doesn't forfeit a weight every like at least once during the year at either an individual tournament, a dual tournament, or a duel. You probably like it doesn't happen. There are forfeits, and a lot of these teams are consistently doing it. Maybe that discussion. I know some of the old heads might not like that. Maybe they do. I feel like they don't. At
So
least a
that's
handful of them. But maybe it's time, Jake, to have that discussion. Maybe we
so
take away
that's
a weight class.
Let's look at. I just pulled up a random tournament. We'll go Blue Jay Challenge. I was looking at the results earlier. Not a single team with 14.
Yeah, and again, like I know you mentioned there's people with the flu bug and stuff like that, and they're sick. I get that, but even at the end of the year, where do you like? We're still seeing this come a team sectional. You know, there are teams. Majority of the, I would probably say this off the top of my head, 85% of the state doesn't field a full lineup.
Yeah.
Like
What? So for our events, we were moving upper weight. What would you get rid of?
probably the same because it's based off like where do you have the least amount of wrestlers? It's usually in the upper weights. You kind of shift it because what we do like oh man, I'm in high school season mode of weight classes. What the heck do we do? Like 153 and then 159 and then
We do.
maybe we
So
take out
for the
out like
duels, I'm gonna go off the
215.
duels.
Yeah, we take out like 215 and it goes from like 190 to
Oh,
heavyweight or something.
so we go 106, 113, 120, 126, 132, 138. So that's all normal. Then we go 145,
Yep.
152, 159, 166, 175, 195 heavy.
Yeah, and that has seemed to do relatively well. A lot of club coaches have liked that. I'm not saying we have the perfect recipe. Maybe there's a better setup, but I don't think this is a bad one. A lot of club coaches really like it. A lot of the teams are able to fill a lineup. It's crazy how you take out one weight class, how you're able to all of a sudden start filling a lineup. So maybe you go to 13 for now, unless you get an explosion of people and rosters that the rosters are all really big and it's like every team's like, dude, I could use this. You know,
Yeah.
you get 70% of your teams like, dude, I could use a 14th weight class, which is quite literally the opposite right now. So maybe you go to 13, and then you don't have criteria either. First, the only if you have a tie duel score at the end of the duel, who won the most matches? Boom, it's over with.
That's
You don't
enough
have
of
to
a
go to,
rating.
you don't have to go to anything else. Who won the most matches?
What
Done.
weight do you think at the duels had the most wrestlers signed up for?
At our duels?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, 150.
138 had 28 competitors. The second highest weight class in terms of just numbers was 126 with
It's going to be a lighter weight.
27. And so 138, 126, and 145 were the biggest weights. And then the two smallest is obviously 95 and heavyweight. And they're the smallest by 5 competitors. So
Which
pretty,
is significant.
yeah, which is a good percent.
A lot, I mean, even then, still, there's a good amount of the teams that are, you know, they fill their lineups, but then they're like, hey, we struggle to find a heavyweight, or they do find heavyweights, but they're like small heavyweights. It's all right, you know, but that's how that works, and you'll get used to it. Yeah, it's just it way it is. Maybe it's time to start having that discussion a little bit more seriously.
I wonder what.
Snapdown says we can't remove a higher weight. Larry wants to know what weight we would move. Why can't we remove a higher weight, Steve? Heavyweight had the least, Larry.
So it's interesting if you look at the cheesehead, there's a lot of not full lineups. Very few. A lot of the out-of-state schools, though, damn, a lot.
Their weight. You should be able to look at like Cheesehead's entries for. I'm trying to pull it up. For
Barrington,
weights.
Illinois has a full lineup. Arizona, Oklahoma, Grant, Illinois, Case and Manorville, Kaukauna always has a full lineup. North Nebraska. I guess if you're going to drive up from freaking wherever you're at. Interesting fact, the team that won the Cheesehead from Missouri, they only won it with 10 kids. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting. Wordle 6 had 32 at Cheesehead. 32 at 113. Let's jump up to 132, see how many they had.
38.
Oh, wait, yeah, I might be off on that. Sorry, they had more than 32.
Oh, they had 40 kids at one.
Yeah, there's 2 rows. I was messing that up. So it's not 32. I messed that up. Oopsie doopsies. Let's do this again.
So yeah, the biggest weight was 138.
32.
Interesting.
Is that 38?
No, the biggest weight was 190 actually, with 40 competitors.
I don't know if I'm looking at it.
I just clicked on weights and then they give you the count.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
I'm looking at a different one. Total rolls. Yeah, I see 40 at 190. What did heavyweight have?
31.
See, it's still lower.
That's one lower than the second lowest, which is 6 and 13. Interesting.
One lower, still the lowest. It's like, well, it wasn't that bad. Well, you're still the worst.
Interesting. Well, it'd be kind of interesting to do a poll on that. Like, well, how many teams are actually fielding a full lineup? Can't be many. But
195 to 285. So Steve says 195, 285 is crazy. Like those guys are so much smaller. Steve, that's what they do in college. 197 and 285. 215, there is no weight class that exists in there unless you're wrestling international and you have 213. But like that's what's like one of the biggest question marks when you see a 215 pounder go to college. Is he going to be a heavyweight or is he going to be a 97 pounder? It doesn't exist. So I actually don't think it's that crazy. I'm not saying it's a perfect answer, but I don't think it's that crazy to take out that essentially that 215. Now you do shift it a little bit. Maybe 195 ends up being 200 for
yeah,
now. Maybe you make that 200 and you bump up a couple of them just a smidge. You slide them up just a little bit, but you got to essentially cater to the light middleweight areas because that's where the majority of your wrestlers are. I would
kind of interesting that one of your hot takes, I think, is going to be about 215, right? For overreactions.
Yeah,
Kind of ironic.
it
um,
is, but
but
it's not consistent usually.
no,
And that
I feel like that's a
one
rare
thing.
fact. What you're going to have on your overreactions is rare for that weight.
Yeah, well, and also I don't think it has to do because you're looking at across a whole state some of the like best essentially versus this is across the whole state where are we filling people and not filling people.
Yeah. But that's take it back to we were. That was kind of a little tangent there. But Duffy, some interesting results. Grayson Kepke and Mueller was a crazy one in the semis at 113. Mueller came out on fire with that underhook. He was scoring points in bunches. Had a 10 points or 9 points scored, 3 takedowns in the first period. He got taken down and put to his back. Was down 10-9 going into the second period, and then Kepke kept it rolling. Ended up locking up a cradle, getting the fall. The port crowd was hyped. But that was a very interesting one. I feel like if Mueller just kind of cleaned up his finishes just a smidge, it was kind of everything was just a little too fast. But Kepke, I mean, you're down by 3 takedowns to keep wrestling that hard and get the points and get the near fall and get the
Oh
cradle.
yeah,
That was crazy.
that was a tale of literally two different matches.
And
I
it
mean, that
all
was
happened in
complete.
one period, pretty much.
It was two completely different matches. 3 takedowns. You're like, holy crap. Mueller is. I mean, first of all, Mueller is like a little tank.
Tank.
He's like a little muscle hamster. He's
His little
wrestling.
underhook club combo, I was like, what?
You just see like I understand the fact that these guys are 106, 113, like
They're
120. It's like there's nobody that's big at that weight, but you look at him, you're like, this little fuck, he's big. He's like a little tank, and he did. It was a two different types of matches, and yeah, Kepke gets it done, gets the cradle there in the second. That was a wild, just complete 180 flip. That was something. I'm still reading these comments here.
More
Yeah,
points for a forfeit is kind of cool.
I just
If
saw
you don't
that.
feel
I
the
don't
weight, you don't even get a chance to compete. You give up more points. Because then you
because
just
they're saying that there are teams that will forfeit because they're like, and I even McGuanago I know has done this because Wierzbicki's. I've asked him about this specifically. His logic was like, hey, I know we're giving up 6 at this weight. Like our guy just really isn't good. This is going to be a very competitive duel. So instead of sending him out there to like hurt
damn.
momentum, I'll just take the forfeit and we'll be because a forfeit 6 is momentum wise a little bit different than your guy going out there and getting pinned. And
Yeah.
I get the logic, but yeah, maybe it's 8 points for a forfeit
Well,
instead
yeah.
of 6.
Well, yesterday we were driving,
Makes a
getting stuff for
difference.
the new studio office, and we had this discussion about a couple teams that are ranked high, but are they battle tested? And the momentum that plays into a duel. If you're not in a lot of tough duels, and you get into that, and the momentum, and just You ride the highs, you have the lows. Like
Can
it's
you
interesting.
handle those waves? Because you're used to just killing everyone, but you haven't. Yeah, you haven't been battle tested. Can you handle it when you wrestle a really tough team and you guys lose 4 matches in a row? Are you guys going to be able to stay in it because you haven't experienced this yet, or are you going to crumble and you lose more matches than you normally do?
Yeah, it's interesting. Hey, I kind of like the giving up more points if you give up a forfeit.
Yeah, surface
That's interesting.
surface idea, no thought to it.
Zero
Kind of
thought.
like,
But
yeah, I
well, I
kind of
wonder
like it.
what states do that.
Do any states do that? I've never heard of that until literally now in the comments. I've never heard of that idea before.
Well,
I
I'm reading your comment. You said some states do this.
Oh, that's I think that was to Larry. He's saying allow 7th and 8th graders wrestle.
I'm game on that. If you're good enough to compete, why not?
Allow that was, and I said some states do this. It's an interesting thought. I haven't given it a ton, but potentially more for a forfeit. Interesting. It still doesn't take away the fact I don't think enough
You
teams
know,
are forfeiting weight classes because they don't want to wrestle that match. I think
they don't have kit.
90% of the forfeits are coming because they can't fill the weight, not because they don't want to wrestle somebody at that weight. So I still think you should probably consider the idea of eliminating one weight class and shifting them a little bit because of that.
Yeah,
But still, you could still add that rule in as well to discourage people from forfeiting weights because forfeiting is ridiculous.
yeah.
Go wrestle.
Um,
If you're on varsity, you're on varsity. If you're not, there are coaches that will have their kids wrestle a JV schedule, even though they have maybe they have 15 guys on the whole team for their high school team. It's like, hey, we got 10 of our guys wrestling a JV schedule, even though we could put them on varsity. I understand that sometimes, like they're just, what's the point of them going there to go 0-2? Like, let's go get some competition, like some like matches at your level. Like, you don't recommend a kid that's like not clearly ready for Northern Plains or Fargo to go there. You're like, hey, that's kind of a waste of our time. Let's gear towards this and this. Same concept. I don't think that's a bad idea that coaches do. Yeah.
got to play to the needs of your athletes.
Yeah,
Um,
a little bit. Is what's going to get them the better? Like competing against somebody where they have, whether they lose or win a 6-5 match, or
or they go
they go
0-2 at a varsity
in the
tournament.
first period half of the year.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Um, that is interesting. I'm kind of, my brain's all over the place right now. Um, some other interesting results.
Tournament, no more wrestling for the day. Now we're just really getting on the forfeits.
Who said that?
Steve. Kelly said it goes both ways. It's happening in college too. Forfeiting for duels, I'm guessing she's still talking about. Yeah, it definitely does happen in college, but there are
That's a whole other
programs.
can of worms with the whole
That's a
RPI
different
and
one.
it's
I
like
can't fix everything in one day, okay? I can't fix everything in one day.
and I mean that kind of happened with the whole Wisconsin Iowa duel. They set a lot of their guys, and it's like, why are you doing this? And some guys had lost to Wisconsin guys earlier or in past season. Well, more on that later. But other interesting results from the Duffy. Bryson Bustler with probably two of the better matches of the tournament. In the semifinals, he avenges his loss to Mason Techmeyer. In the preview article, I mentioned, can Techmeyer stay hot? He was beating Bustler. Bustler with a late takedown, a ride out, wins at
What do you,
5-4. That was a
what do
good
you
match.
think of Techmeyer, even though he lost that match? Like, what's your, like, where
Dude,
do you
you wrestle
stand?
those two again, it's going to be back and forth because he was winning that match. He got the takedown on the third. Bustler got out, got the takedown, very close.
Yeah.
He's going to seal that win.
Well, because you said he stays hot, so that's why I'm like, would you
That's
consider him still hot even though he lost, or like, do you think he's
I
as
would
good
say
as he
yes,
was?
he's still hot in comparison to what the where he was before to now. Like I didn't think he was beating a Bustler, and he'd beaten him, and then you lose by a point. I think he's still moving up. I still think you ride that momentum. I just think he's still hot.
Yeah, I think he's still wrestling
If he
well.
went
I
out
think
and lost to Bustler like 9-2, different story. But like you're winning a majority of that match, you clean up a couple small details in that third period. That's a win. So I'd say still a very solid day. Good match.
yeah, I think so too. I think he's still wrestling very well.
And then Schneider over Gene Court at 138 was chaos. You had number one Gene Court, number three Schneider. They are 1-1 on the season. Schneider beat him at the Casco Duels. Gene Court beat him in the Battle in the Bay semis. They went to OT, had some crazy exchanges. That match is on Rokfin. Very interesting. Low scoring bout, but just a lot of good action. Um,
Tons. I
Schneider
didn't
with
think
that
Schneider.
fireman's high crotch combo where he can go either way. It's kind of
Well,
tricky.
he does. So he does have a very specific skill set. I think he's very solid on top, and if you can be good on top, boom, money. But his on his feet, it's that fireman's, and if the fireman's doesn't work, he kind of like bails on the
He
arm
can
and
go to
tries to
like the
pull
high
the high crotch
crotch.
and it doubles off. Yeah, so like he'll go fireman's, and if it's not working, he lets go of that elbow, and he just kind of pulls that high
And he
crotch
must
in.
be strong as shit from that position because a lot of the
I
times,
think so.
how are you still alive under there? And then all of a sudden he's
Yes,
like,
he does a he does kind of a good job driving his feet to help him, but I do think you're right. I think he's been in that position so many times. I do think he's probably a little bit more strong than what you would normally see in that position, and that's how that works. Like you get into certain stuff all the time, you're going to be stronger
yeah,
and know how to navigate it through it just a little bit better than others. Yeah, he's very unique skill set on his feet. Um, I honestly, after the semis with Battle on the Bay, I hand up. I didn't think Gene Court would lose that match again. So like when they wrestled again on in the semis at Duffy, I thought Gene Court was going to win that match, and I was wrong. Schneider got it done, and he got it done in a big way, um, because obviously then beats Catsby in the so he beats 1 and 2 in the state. So
yeah.
great job, great
He,
job. But
he went on a run.
yeah, he surprised me where I'm like, okay, maybe I need to take it a little bit more seriously.
He looked really good. 138 continues to just be chaotic.
All over the place. Is anybody gonna slide into that weight? Do you think that like gives it some stabilization and like reassures it? It's like, all right, this guy's
One
missing
drops
50%.
down.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the most likely option where the weight doesn't jump around all over the place. I think Henderson is probably the most consistent. Um,
He's at 5 now.
What's that? Yeah, I know because he has the one loss, or well, he's got 2 losses,
I
but he's
mean,
got the
does
one loss, so he can't jump sternwise. But I still think Henderson might just be the most consistent one at that weight, but that sternwise loss holds him down.
because at 44 you kind of got, well, I said a lock with Newbert. I mean, does a Tritz or does a Botting, do they drop down to 38? I don't know. But it is
I
interesting.
don't know if they can either. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what their weights are if they're able to even.
But yeah, that weight, it's going to be interesting come state. Because I don't see any of those guys dropping to 32 because you got a nice little top three there with Ari and Schlump and Hay. But some other things that were interesting. Brody Lewis looking really good as a freshman. He had a couple of ranked wins from different divisions. He kind of steamrolls his way to a title at 106. A battle of number ones at 144 was D1 Newbert versus D3 Fleege. Newbert continues to just do some wild shit. And it's like, how do you do that against really good people? And he keeps doing it. That neck wrench whip over thing, dude, my neck was sore after watching that clip. I was like, damn. He must have so much power from that position to just, like, I've seen him do.
Nicolar did the same thing in the Maryland duel or Iowa duel. It was this weekend. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
I think it was the Maryland duel. Nicolar literally did the exact same thing. From started
That
on bottom,
Nazard
guy
dude's got some
behind him,
weird
tried to mat
stuff.
reach. Nicolar reaches back once, doesn't work, reaches back again, and flips him all the way around and like steps over him. So he puts the guy on his back, and then the guy
That's
like kind of. But if you
who's
have a
that?
good
Oh,
there, it's
that's some
scary.
Ryder Rogotsky stuff right there, Ohio State.
Yes,
Just like,
yes.
how do you do that? And it's such a like small percent of people that can actually do that, and it goes against
That
everything that a
well.
coach would say. But damn, when you get good at it, it's almost like automatic. It
Have you
almost
ever
thinks of like
wrestled
old Dylan
somebody that's
Ness,
really?
where they're
Have you ever
just
wrestled
doing
somebody
some.
that's that good at that?
Honestly, no.
I have, and it's scary because like
You're just always
you
thinking about it.
mentioned Well, you think you're in a safe spot, but then you feel the guy reaching back, and you're like, "Why the hell?" And then it'll happen to you, right? Because I did this. I've wrestled someone like this in practice, and you're like, the first few times, like, you, why is he reaching back? And then you feel it, and you're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like
And you're like, oh my god, I'm on
you
my neck.
can, right, but you can feel like why are they so confident in doing this right now? Like it's like wrestling someone where you're trying to like stay out of a position, and you can feel it, right? Like
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, like maybe you're a big guy. Maybe you had to experience like the fat man roll or something. There's somebody that was really good
The
at the fat
only
man roll.
thing, and this wasn't even competition because it was just training, but it was with Ben, the high flyer or like the
Oh, from his
a
belly, and he uses his foot to elevate
and
you.
he could be on his butt and you can be finishing a high crotch, a single, a double, a low double, and somehow just from jujitsu be able to get your chin and like crunch you enough and then just slide his arm in. I don't know how he was able to do it so well. And then all of a sudden I'm like that whole high flyer pancake thing was nasty. Wagner was really good at it when I used to wrestle with him. But just like that thought of that big move potential, it kind of does, it lingers in your brain as you're wrestling. But I've never had
But it
anyone.
has. That's the beauty of the big move potential is like whether you're hitting it or not. If you get really good at it, your opponent has to know about it. So there is an element of like their mind is always weary of it because otherwise you're going to get stuck in it.
Yeah. It's kind of like one of my old training partners, Greco guy, world team Greco guy. And like, it's just like he gets you in some of these positions. He had like an over under, but like a little hip bump. And I don't know how he was showing me it. And I was like, I just don't know how you can get good at it. And it was just like that little hip bump, and all of a sudden you're in the air. And I'm like, what? Where is this coming from? But you get really good at
Wilder
the
Wood,
sneaky
same
things.
way, dude. That lefty
Headlock,
headlock, remember that? It's like
dude.
you can
Lefty
wrestle him
headlock's
in
kind
a
of goaded.
close match, and the minute you're on your feet and you forget that he can launch a lefty headlock, you're going through the air.
Less big move, but kind of big move now with the back points and everything. Is people that are really good, and this kind of goes back to Schneider or DeSanto or these people that are good with that like dump. I've never understood how they can get so proficient with being in a front headlock, and all of a sudden they're dumping them. Like the 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 feeling of that, the grip, the motion of it. That's also kind of just like. But when you're in that position, you're in a front headlock, you get kind of relaxed, you're kind of hanging out, and next thing you know, you're getting dumped. You're like, what? Um, you look like you're reading comments.
Yeah, I like Terry Paulson's comments, so I had to reply to it. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. Maybe it's not a hot take, but I
Baston
like
looked.
it.
Uh, Baston
Oh,
did look
Steve
really good at Duffy. He looked really solid, actually. There's another one.
Lincoln.
He,
Yeah. Oh,
um,
Josiah. Josiah's good. He's good on top. Josiah is. I've known those guys for a very long time. Josiah is very calculated, and he's a freshman too. I think his trajectory will take a little bit longer, but when he hits it, I think he's gonna like really hit it. Yeah, I think he's gonna have one of those potentials. I think Lincoln is. I would say Josiah's more of the technical guy, and I think Lincoln is like the guy that is just not afraid to go out and scrap against
I would see
anybody.
the
He's
two.
like, I
Yeah.
want to wrestle. I want to. He's like, I just want the guy's number one. He's perfect. I want to wrestle him.
Bring it on.
Yeah,
And
that's Lincoln's mindset.
yeah, last thing I got from the Duffy battle of number ones in heavyweight with D1 Clay and D3 Martin. Martin made a statement. Martin does what Martin does. Wasn't even
Is there
close.
can Kale Lyskane keep it close with Tyson Martin? I would say yeah, because those two have been
They've had
well.
battles.
They've had some battles. Yeah.
There's a mountain. There's a mountaintop in heavyweight, and you've got Martin and Lyskang are chilling up top, and then just below it you've got Empey, I would say, and then below that, also trekking up the mountain is like a Grolke, a Matthews, a Clay. But dude, Martin and Lyskang have definitely separated themselves because, well, I'll just mention it now. Lyskang over D3 number two Matthews. We've seen Matthews wrestle really well against a lot of really good guys, beat him 9-3.
Mhm.
The Lyskang and Martin have just separated themselves. I can't recall their match scores from like Freestyle State. I want to say Martin, or that's the bracket that Vanderheiden won. I want
Yes.
Martin and Lyskang they've wrestled. They wrestled at King of the
They
North. Man, I got to refresh on
yeah,
my
they didn't
results.
wrestle like this year.
2 years ago, and it was a crazy match.
They've wrestled a few times.
Damn,
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I thought Martin normally won those matches.
I thought so too. So maybe he is atop the mountain. Tyson Martin. Oh, it looks like this is a third place match. Second place match. Oh, they did wrestle it. What is Freestyle State on?
Flo.
Oh, this is going to play. Well, they wrestled for second place at state. I'm about to watch the video and scroll to the back.
Martin was lucky to get past the port heavy. Oh yeah.
What?
Freaking no, the match with Tyson and Hondog. That
Oh,
was
dude, that was
awesome.
the
I
video,
love that.
the
That
vlog
whole
video
thing.
where Angelo was just like, what did he say at the end where he's like, he was sick.
Oh, he was sick. Yeah, he was sick. He's like, and I think the ref might have screwed him a little bit.
That's funny. All right, so Martin teched him 11-0. So Martin is
Yeah. I was gonna
looking
say I
down
think
the
he's
mountain.
hmm
Damn. Interesting. Is this the? I mean, I guess there's a clear number one if you had the overall heavyweight ranking, but I feel like of years past, there's a lot of really good heavyweights in the state right now across all three divisions.
there's
You've
been a
got
good handful.
Nehemiah, you've got Matthews, you've got Lyscan. I mean, there's a lot of solid wrestlers. Grolke.
Maya is the guy that gets forgotten about right now as we're in the season because we're looking at Gang and Martin and Matthews even this year. Matthews has had some good matches too. And Grolke's gotten a lot of attention. Nehemiah is going to be a guy that
The state
nobody will want to wrestle at state. Yes.
and
That's
him
not
and
a good
Clay had that
spot.
match, dude. Give me Clay Nehemiah state finals D1.
Nehemiah is like your number 4 seed. The ones like that's not good for the 1 seed. I don't care if you're the 1 seed at state and D1. Like you don't want to have like Nehemiah be your 4 seed.
So right now, Grolke's 1, Clay's 2, Nehemiah's 3.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
But
if
state
Nehemiah,
seeding never seems to accurately represent.
yeah. What?
State seeding over whack with the previous year credentials and stuff like that. So,
Um,
like a guy like Swick and Moody, they're not going to get good seeds at all come state or any freshman for that matter, really. Kellen
yeah,
Wolbert, do you remember the first year they did it? Kellen Wolbert had 3 wins that year over Ben Bass, the returning
yeah,
state
they
champ.
they
3
took
wins.
into
And then
result the
Kellen,
previous year. Yeah,
and then Kellen was like, I don't even remember what seed he was, but it wasn't good. It was not good.
he was he was a 3 seed, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
and he was clearly the one.
let's just segue this into Cheesehead. Start at heavyweight. Empey continues to be dominant. He's currently number 2 in our rankings behind Lysgang. He's undefeated this year. He kind of balled out at the Cheesehead. I'm looking at this bracket. Hopefully Nehemiah's not hurt too bad because he injury defaulted in the first round of the championship bracket. So hopefully that's not bad. Because I was looking to see where he fell, but because I was like, well, he probably would have wrestled somebody. But MP over Grolke in the semis 10-4,
MP
and
keep him
then
close with Light Gang this year. MP's a bigger guy,
he's a bigger guy.
which is going to help. You can't be small. I don't know that there's a path to success if you're small wrestling Kale Light Gang.
You need to be big. You need like
Needs
kind
some
of like
size to you, mass. Needs some mass.
um,
'Cause, I mean, Matthews is a really big guy. That was a 9-3. But then, I mean, Grolke's got mass, but he pinned him. I think that's because Grolke's probably a little bit further back on the technique. He's like, I've said this a lot. He's very good, but he's an athlete. Like he is a very good athlete wrestler. And I remember watching that match at Fondy. It was Kale's match for sure. I thought it was close and going into the third period, and then Kale obviously got the pin. But it felt like Kale was kind of controlling that match, even though it was very close on the scoreboard.
and that's where Kale understands like the sequences of like he gets to his 2-on-1, he drops to his single. You can kind
The
of
amount of times Kale grew up in a close match, I'm sure was no shortage. Just before he learned his offense, he just didn't let people score.
yeah. But yeah, MP very solid showing at the Cheesehead. Some other interesting notes from the Cheesehead. Mason Moody with the ranked win over number 6 in the country in the first round of the champ bracket, but then he fell to him in the medal match. But that's probably his first ranked win.
Wasn't that in the fifth place match
That he lost,
to that guy again?
I
Was the
believe.
number 6 guy in the fifth place match because a Wisconsin kid took fourth. I can't think of who it was off the top of my head. Um, at that weight
So
class.
yes, so this is how it went. It went in pool play. Mason beat the ranked guy, and then in the first round of the bracket for the championship bracket, Moody over Lubinsky was very tough, 5-2.
Yeah,
Then
Lewinsky took fourth.
Lubinsky wrestled back and lost to the ranked guy, and then in the Conti semis, Moody lost to the ranked guy. It's kind of interesting.
I thought Lewinsky took fourth.
Lubinsky did take fourth.
So wasn't the Conti? He didn't lose in the Conti quarters.
So in the first round of the
Lubinsky,
championship bracket, Mason beat Lubinsky. Lubinsky wrestled all the way back to the third place match. Moody lost in the
yes.
semis, then
There you
lost
go.
to that ranked kid in the Conti semis.
There you go.
That's exactly what I just said.
Run the tape.
I'm
You
always,
said Lubinsky lost in the Conti quarters, and then Moody lost in the Conti semis, and then they were in the fifth place match.
no, I
And I was
said
thinking,
Lubinsky wrestled
all right,
Moody in the first
run
thing.
the tape.
But interesting. Ranked win, very solid. Noble, an old Wisconsin guy.
See, I'll even put it in the comments. She's probably a couple seconds behind.
Oh, well, you're looking at a lot of things. So interesting that I wonder what was the score of that. Dude, looking at these cheesehead brackets is so shitty though. I hate it. Despise it. Like how
Well,
even there's 1,000 freaking
well, that's a classic scramble for you. That's not the cheesehead themselves. It's just until you get to the championship bracket, you're like looking around everywhere trying to find the stuff. Yeah.
Moody beat him 9-7 and lost 6-0. So high scoring match.
Yeah.
Then shut out in the other one. Zonbeal over Swick, 5-2, I believe.
Two Arrowhead guys.
I don't
Hey, Holly,
understand.
while you're here, are they staying down?
Well, I don't know why Moody would drop down to 13. That makes no
I
sense.
don't know. Yeah. I
Going
don't
down to
know
Russell
either.
Nash. That when I saw that, I was like, what?
Yeah, I would have thought he would stay at 20, but maybe he doesn't have a choice if Zahn can beat him and
But why
Zahn
would
wanted to go down.
Zahn want
I
to
don't
go
know.
down?
Also, Zahn going down to 120 is crazy because
He's already number
of
one.
yeah. Well, yeah. But just like why go down if it was like if that meant bumping your teammate down who was also like being able to compete. Like both of them could win at 120, 126. I know you got to wrestle the matches, but I think this is a cheesehead move because why would you have Mason Moody go down to 13 to wrestle Cameron? I don't think anybody in the state is on
But I
Cameron.
don't get the drop down for a tournament. Cheesehead move. What's a cheesehead move? Just wrestle. I don't know. Some of those things just baffle me. Some other results: Kellen Wolbert over Hunter Stevens by Tech, a nationally ranked matchup, number 2 and number 7.
You see that coming?
I mean, I don't know if I would have said Tech fall. I would say I would say that Kellen would beat him in a closer match, but at like a convincing win, like a 9-3. You get a couple takedowns, you ride him out, but to put it on him like that by Tech is kind of nuts. There's levels.
That's kind of what I'm gonna be honest. I know you could chalk it up to hindsight, but if I had to predict that ahead of time, I would have predicted like a major decision that was 13, 14 point win or tech fall. Like I didn't think it was going to be close at all. Kellen's teched him in freestyle before as well.
That's different.
I know, but still, I just like as good as freaking Hunter Stevens is, third at Super 32, top 10 in the country, Kellen's just another level. And I mean, he showed it there, but like I didn't think it would be close. I thought it would have been like a really, really bad major decision or a tech fall.
I mean, yeah, 21-5. That's
Which is crazy because we had this conversation. We're like, well, is Hunter Stevens ranked too high? And then you think about it, it's like, no, he's not. Dude took third at Super 30. Dude is really, really good. Made a Fargo finals.
A lot of good guys.
Yeah, it's like he's not overranked. Kellen is that good. So it's not what Hunter isn't, it's what Kellen is, I think, is more of the conversation there.
Yeah, so that was interesting. And then it's crazy that in the first round of the championship bracket, he has just Roga 4-0 win. I mean, that's a Chiroga was
Closest match.
Yeah.
There's
But
so many Justin Morgans. I feel like they just keep coming.
a lot. Crook and Mayer had a really fun match in the first round of the championship bracket. Mayer's tricky, dude. I watched that match back, dude. I was like, Crook gets to a single leg. How is he not going to finish this? Somehow Mayer whips him. Like, I don't even know. Like, very savvy hips, gets a very quick 2 count, but 2 count nonetheless, and a takedown. It happened really fast. Crook gets back on top, reverses him, gets a tilt, kind of extends his lead. You think he's got it. And then Mayer strikes again, rides him out for the remainder of the second period, then rides him out for the full third period, and gets a stall call. I don't know why you don't cut him there. You're down by 1. You've taken him down twice. You've got to go get him. You're not going to turn him.
Yeah.
I don't think no one's turning Liam.
I agree. I don't think anyone's turning Liam.
And so you've got to put him on the feet. Especially
not knowing the situation, why they did that, and just looking at it back, I would agree. You got to cut. You got to go on the feet. As you said, you take him down twice. Is it hard to take Liam down again? Yeah. When it comes to like having like when Liam has the lead, it becomes very hard to score on, right?
He
even when he
holds position super well.
Super good positioning. He's good head hands, good hips. Becomes very hard to score on late in matches. I don't think whether it's early in a match or late in a match, you're going to turn him. I just don't think he's getting turned unless it's like one of the best guys in the country. But your best chance, I would agree, is probably going to try and get that takedown. For whatever reason, he obviously didn't. Maybe they're trying to get another stall call. He did ride him out, which is interesting. But I do have the thought, did Liam just kind of mail it in that third period? Because I feel like I've seen him do that a couple times before, a little bit, where he's like, you know what? As we just said, I'm not going to get turned. I have the lead. Might as well wait for him to cut me because there's no point in me going on my feet and
no riding time. So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, so that's kind of my thought. Maybe that's how he's able to ride him out. In which case, also makes sense why he got a stall call. But maybe he should have got another one. I don't know. I didn't see the match. I don't know what the atmosphere in the moment of that match was. Yeah, but
it was a fun match though. Like
close match. I wouldn't have predicted anybody to have a close match with Liam this year.
No, but then because in the finals he kind of just put it on. What was the score? I mean, he then went 175. Yeah, I mean, once he got through Mayer, he went 15-0 tech and then a 10-1 major. So he kind of, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So someone giving Liam a close match, not even an out-of-state guy, is a notable result. Notable. It's like, all right, is Mayer your favorite to win a D2 state title? Because I don't know if I can pick a single name that I would be like, you know what, this guy I'll keep it close with Liam.
Yeah,
they're both trying to,
And I mean, we knew how good Mayer was. I mean, he's number 2 right now behind Madsen, and Madsen stomped Kipowski, who's number 3. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun one. Mayer. Madsen, very good on his feet, score a lot of points. But then you get in the conversation as like, has Madsen had a tough schedule? Mayer, I mean, Iowa Grant or not, Mount Horeb has been at like all the big ones. They've had a lot of good matches.
They've had a lot of good.
He's wrestled through I-State. He's wrestled through Cheesehead. I mean, you're talking, those are some big tournaments.
Well, Mount Horeb's kind of the team where it's like, we were talking about this before, and I wasn't even thinking of Mount Horeb, but like, are they going to be battle tested? I know they've been in close duels. I know that for sure, and I know they've lost some close duels. I mentioned it last week in Overreaction. They lost to Arrowhead at the beginning of the year. So that regard, they have had some like, all right, we gotta fight here, whether we're gonna win or lose. We gotta fight this match. But they've done a lot of individual tournaments, so then it's like, have they done it enough? Have they tested themselves as a team unit enough? Because they are very good. There's a reason they are number 2 in the state. But yeah,
it is interesting.
They're very good. It is what it is, and how depending on how they match up with these other teams, it may not even matter. If they have so many like legitimate hammers that if they match up, you may not be able to overcome what their hammers can do.
Yeah, and their hammers are like mega hammers. But it's interesting to look at this list. One, two, three, four of the 14 weights go to Wisconsin. Is that? I wonder. Compare that to past years. Is that lower, higher? I'm not sure. Um, I would say
My
lower
gut
because
lower. My
you've
gut feels
had
lower.
in years past. You've had
Well,
Wolberg,
in
you've
years
had
past, we had the
Minnesota.
Wolberts and the Colas and Bass. I think might have won it one year.
Yeah, but
That Caleb
interesting
Noble one could have been Wisconsin.
is the team race side of things. Kakana was the highest placing team for Wisconsin, and they were in 10th. And then Mount Horeb in 15th. Hickman, Missouri, go the Cupies out of Columbia, right down the road from Mizzou. But man, they
How many of
ball
these are
out.
private schools? How many of these are schools recruit in like
Hickman,
openly legitimately recruit?
Hickman's
I know we
public.
say about most of the teams, a lot of the good teams in the state, they recruit, blah blah whatever. Openly, they can recruit people. Like what? How
Well,
many of these?
well, Hickman is public. They're the biggest
But do they
public in
recruit? Like, do
Columbia.
they legitimately recruit people in? You would know. I wouldn't.
Um, I don't know if they do because the school that is right down the road is the school that like Brock Mahler and Jarrett JQs. That is a Catholic school that they could recruit. I guess I not, but
Okay.
Hickman's just your normal school that's within the city of Columbia. I don't think Southeast Polk. I mean, that's a public school. Montini Catholic could recruit. I
But
think that's
they've been so damn good that they might. I
they just
wouldn't.
want to go there. They don't even need to recruit. That's a sick wrestling room. You go look at that wall, like the hallway with all the photos of everybody. You're like, damn, he came from here. That guy came from like, jeez. I'm not familiar with Cleveland, Tennessee though. They kind of balled out.
Neither am I.
I was like, what? Cleveland, Coweta, Oklahoma. I've heard of them, but they wrestled well. Liberty, Missouri is in St. Louis. That's a public school. Case in Matterville is always tough. They were in it when I was in
Yeah,
it.
they've always been good.
East has always been good. Um, I've heard of
Julian
Lowell.
Catholic.
Davison, Michigan is another school where you look at who's come out of that school and you're like, damn.
Isn't that where
Metcalf and
is that the
um,
school Reader's from?
I think Reeder. They have a
I
really
think
good
Hilger's
lineage
from
of
there too
guys.
then,
Yeah,
right? Isn't Hilger the same school as Reader? Didn't they go to the same high school?
I want to say yes.
Is that all Davison?
I think so. Davison's
Is
tough.
that the same school
Like,
that Facundo went to as well? Oh, we're
mm,
going down the Michigan high school rabbit hole.
Alex
Oh,
Facundo is from. Yes, he's from Davison, four-time state champ. Damn,
dang,
Davis
I'm
has
good.
firepower.
You know what's
Uh,
crazy is he's still wrestling, and Josh Otto and him. Speaking of Josh Otto, friend of the show, obviously they wrestled to make a world team in a best of three, and Josh lost in the third match to him. To make it, so that guys are like the same age, man. They're around the same grade,
crazy. Some of these kids that are still wrestling.
and this
Here's an.
guy's still wrestling. Otto's been out for what 2 years?
It is nuts. Yeah. But yeah, team scores definitely interesting. Puts in perspective. There's some freaking good teams out there. Um, and Hickman, Missouri wasn't even the rankings. They were honorable mention. They're now in the team rankings. I know Kakana was an honorable mention. I think a couple of these other teams were in the rankings, but definitely some interesting stuff. Um, the one thing that's interesting that you just say about they're still wrestling,
Oh yeah, Barr's from Davison too.
dude,
Josh Barr,
good.
they're pretty
Um,
good.
is Mo Denny, whatever his name is. I heard obviously he's left Iowa. There's a lot of speculation of what that was. He was a Badger for like a month, and then he went back to Wartburg, and then went to Iowa, all over
What
the
did
place.
you What did you say his name was?
A Denny,
I
Mo,
think it's Ed. No, Mosama Edney. I think.
Edney. I don't know. Well, in your overreactions, you were like, "I'm praying that that was right." So you don't also know.
But
Um,
I think it was. That's why I said it.
but anyways, there's speculation that he's taking a medical red shirt and he'll be back next year. How many years does this dude have? Dude, he's
There's
won
like I
multiple
saw
national titles for
I saw
Wartburg. He's been at two
I saw
Division One schools. Dude's everywhere.
I
He's making
saw
his rounds.
six I saw six different
There's a lot of speculation,
theories. So I'm not buying the medical red shirt
but
one either
if that's
until it all.
true, they're kind of handing out the medical red shirts like to anybody. Seems like.
Yeah.
But man, there are some like it's crazy to think that there has been multiple people the last couple of years that have had 7 years. But if you play your red shirts, your medical shirts, your gray
Who,
shirts, your Olympic red shirts, like you might be able to get 8, 9 years out of college.
who did Aaron Stewart lose to this year at Cheesehead? That
Leonard
was yeah,
and
yeah. I'm reading
got
Ben's
whooped.
comment. Yeah,
Leonard's
I
good, dude.
remember.
Number 5 in the country. He's looking really good.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, Aaron Stewart's really freaking good, and I was like, who beat him? But I remember seeing it. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's an impressive win. Yeah, Eli Leonard. Damn, he's such a dog. He is.
Leonard's a
He's.
lock. Did
That's
I
a
have him
good
as a
get.
lock?
That's a good get for the Badgers. That's well, these in D2. We only went through the D1.
Oh, that's right. Man, I had that problem this morning. I'm looking at Stoughton. I'm like, where is this guy in the rankings? And I forget that they're D2. With all the movement, if they keep doing all this team switching, that's really going to mess with my brain. I don't like it.
Who's just a baby? I'm all over the comments today.
There's a lot going on. But other
The
interesting
talk show. 10 wrestlers. Everyone keeps talking about the fact that they won with 10
10
wrestlers. That's
wrestlers.
insane.
That's
I
nuts.
know. The team that I have a relationship with from New Orleans, Jesuit High School, they took second last year's runner up, and they brought a full team. And I think nobody won. They didn't have a single champ, but they took second. It was just like a full on performance.
fun
But
fact,
also a team from New Orleans, and they're all New Orleans kids, which is crazy. It's like
the swamp.
I know like they can recruit kids because it's private school, very much so.
But
And they do, but it's all New Orleans. Like I was down there this summer for a camp. It's all New Orleans kids. It's not like it's kids coming from like other states. It's just kids that are from Louisiana and New Orleans,
yeah.
which is
Fun fact, Hickman, Missouri, coached by Dan Pieper, who's Stoughton guy. So there's a little Wisconsin connection there. But yeah, he's got his team wrestling well to have 10 kids entered and they win it by like a good amount. Very impressive. But quick shout out when you reply to comments. Shout out to our favorite farm, Grappling Gardens. Check them out, grapplinggardens.com. They've got all sorts of stuff up on their website, a lot of seasonal products. So make sure to check them out, see where they're at in terms of farmers market. What are they growing? What do they have in stock? Located in Richfield, Wisconsin. So check them out, grapplinggardens.com. And then our favorite gear, Combat Corner. We've got a bunch of good stuff up on the website. If you go to our website, click shop, it will take you right to Combat Corner. But in addition to our awesome merchandise, they've got all sorts of shirts, singlets, jiu-jitsu products, pretty much anything you need, they have it. And if they don't, they can make it for your team. They've got custom singlets. They sell shoes now. So make sure to check them out, combatcorner.com. Let's see here. A couple other interesting results from around the state.
Yes, Osama just had a baby. I saw that last week as well. Best wishes
What?
to him and his family. But I don't know that the rumor that I heard that I will not say of which of the if you go on Twitter, there's a thread of like somebody posted like basically a thread of all the different. It was one tweet. It was all the different rumors I have heard, but the one rumor I heard was among those like 6 rumors that they had listed, 6, 7 rumors, whatever it was. Oh, 6, 7 rumors that they
Do that again.
Some
Clip
of
that.
those
We'll go viral.
some of those rumors that they had listed, the one that I heard that my sources I consider to be not bad was listed. I'm not going to say what that one was, but not great if it's Iowa.
And that is, I saw the mugshot Ferrari's thing. That is
Yes,
nuts.
I did, Alan.
That's
That's
nuts.
what I saw. I saw the mugshot. I was like,
Warren,
25.
that's crazy.
Still in college. I mean, Shane Gantz is a model citizen that wrestled at Parkside, and he was not a mugshot individual. But I remember when I was a grad assistant, Shane was like a year maybe younger than me, something like that.
He's my grade.
Okay,
No,
2
he
years
might
younger
have.
than me.
He might have been a year older than me, actually. I don't know.
Okay, so maybe a year younger than me, and he was still competing. And I was in my like second year of grad school, and I'm like, this guy's still wrestling, and this is my second year out, and I'm like, I could still be wrestling because he was also a little older. Because I was like, I'm young. I'm not like the youngest person ever for my grade, but I'm not old. I'm on the young, on the definitely on the young side of my grade that I was in. I was like, damn, if I was held back, I would have been the same age as him or like same grade as him.
Yeah, some of these guys are old. Um, we'll rip through a couple other interesting results. Aiden Ari over Orloff by fall at the Sauk Prairie Invite.
That
Connor
is a good one.
Peterson proves that he's just on another level. He texts number one Bussy. Bussy was state champ last year. D1 190, number one fault, kind of really cements himself as the number one guy. He texts number four Grow. I think he's beaten everyone in the top three now. He's kind of on a tear. He was a Fargo AA last year. We mentioned Lice Gang over Matthews 9-3. That's kind of the big results in the around the state. And we got a little Badgers. The Badgers took on Iowa. I know you were
Yeah, I
watching
want
the
to hear
duel.
your opinion because you were hammering the panic button last year. They're
I've said
nine
it
and one
again.
on
I'll
the
say it again.
season.
Last year, it wasn't good. This year, they're definitely wrestling well. I said it last episode. I said it the episode before, and I probably said it the episode earlier. I mean, they're wrestling a lot better. But you'd be
They
dumb not to have hit the panic button last year because it was not going well. But
they
they
could have
finally,
legitimately beaten Iowa. Two
yeah.
switches here, two matches that change. Meckler, I'm gonna be honest. I thought they didn't give it to him, and I'm not. I didn't lose my mind that they didn't give it to him, but I could have seen them giving him that takedown as well at the end of the match, which would have then been a 5-4 win. So I thought it could have gone either way. I really wasn't upset. I would have if I was on the other team. Yeah, I would have been pissed if our guy lost that match, but I could see that call going both ways. And then Amos, obviously, sudden victory with Keeter. Two matches, flip
Yep.
those. That's 6, 12-point swing.
That's what you
They
need
win
right
the
there.
duel. They win the duel.
But I mean, you go into Carver, you wrestle that well. I mean, you're riding the high. Fugit looks great. Zargo's looking great. Meckler, like you said, is right there. Rivera is doing Rivera things. Amos is right there. Ingham is just improving every time. So it's a very good squad. I'm excited to see because then we fast forward to Sunday
Well, so I was gonna.
and they put it on Maryland. So yes, they're looking good.
Well, where do you think? Yeah. So I mean, looking at results, like, okay, so we've seen Amos with number one leading in the country earlier this year at Cyclone Invite. I've talked about this a million times. Gives it up late. We see overtime loss to Keeter here against Iowa. He has not beaten a top 10 guy, but he's right there. So where do you stand on Amos still? Do you still think like, are you like buying stock? Like, all right, he's pushing for a national title, or do you need to see him beat one of these guys for you to feel that he's pushing for the national title and maybe not just like an All-American? Like, obviously it's All-American, but like,
I think he's right there. I mean, it would be good to have a big win, but he was definitely on the attack against Keeter, and I think that's probably what came back to bite him in the butt. I'd rather see it like that. I'd rather see a guy go out there and attack and switch a few things. He's in the top 10 now.
yeah,
With the data points that we have and the losses, it's not like he's getting like if he would have went out there and gotten beaten up by Keeter, then ooh, I don't like that. But I mean, you're one sequence away from getting that win. You're now a top 6 guy. So no, and with the amount of matches that he has coming up against ranked opponents,
we're gonna
I
find out. But
think it's
I'm buying
pretty.
stock
Because if
still.
he didn't have any of these ranked matches coming up, then I'm like, ooh, I don't love it. You're going to the Big Ten tournament. You've got a gauntlet to run. You're going to get tested. You're going to have a lot of good data points to learn, fix things. I think right now, still riding the high.
I do think I do think at this point that he's still national title contention even without those two
Well,
top 10 wins.
think about that way.
I think
You got Bastida, who's had some crazy matches with a lot of people. You've had a guy like Carroll, who you thought was going to keep climbing the ranks with big wins over like Amir Sola and other guys, and then he loses to Hopke, and then Hopke's sliding in. He's now a top 12 guy. Like there's a lot of movement in that weight. And I think with Amos being a full size heavyweight, he win at 271. That's crazy. Dude, how on earth did he ever make
man,
97?
I look him to I don't know 100 pounds basically. I mean not quite, but
Crazy. And
yeah.
he still moves really well, and he's got his Greco background, so he can
And
hand fight. He can keep
I
matches
mean,
close.
and
That is going to play into like you're going to
he's
win a couple of close
powerful.
matches. Yes,
Everybody tells me. I
and
mean, 270, sure you're strong, but everybody tells me for a heavy, like he's powerful, like
well,
really strong.
well, even when you'd watch him in high school, he was the number one recruit. He just had like a little bit different power. He was a very powerful athlete. Pop throws, just kind of beat people up. Yeah, he's.
How many guys, if you look at this, plug in whoever you want there at 84, how many All Americans national qualifiers at this moment right now are you taking from Wisconsin?
Um, we'll go. We'll just start at the top. Ingham, yes. Amos, yes. Rivera, yes. Fugit, yes. Zargo, yes. Meckler, yes. That's six.
Yeah, you're at 6 for no qualifiers.
I think you can throw a Gable or a Condon in there if they have a. But that's the other problem is Big Ten. Well, not the problem, but Big Ten has like you place top 12 of 14 people. You're gonna. I guess I don't know how many teams there are, but
It's
you
usually
get
like right around
there's so
9.
many allocations.
Nine's usually the safe number.
There's a
I
lot of
feel like
allocations.
sometimes they get
Um,
10, sometimes
but
the
I'll
weight
I'll
gets.
say I'll say six. Maybe you sneak in a Gable. Um, if we're going
Gable
strictly,
qualified last year, he's nationally ranked this year. He may just make it. If he didn't qualify through Big
he
Tens, he
might
may
get a
get
big.
a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say let's go seven.
Right.
Let's throw Gable in there. But it,
How many
it's
All Americans?
all Americans.
I think 7.5 would be the line. I would pick 7. 6.5, I'd pick 7. Like that's where I'm sitting at for sure. Six and
Um,
a half would probably be where the line's set. You'd have to pick 6 or 7 for
ah, dude, I think two.
2 All Americans.
Yeah, dude, with the Rivera's,
That guy's a Space Mountain guy. I
he
remember they used to say this on Flow all the time. Guys that can have they have super variance in their performance, where it's like
and
one
that's
minute you're like this guy can beat the number one guy in the country, and the next minute he'll lose to I don't know, number 25 or an unranked or something. He's a little bit of a Space Mountain guy. He's honed it in a little bit with the lows of the valley, and he's getting the wins, but his peak performances are much different. I think for him, and this is not knowing, but from the eye test, like I sent a text, I think it was to you, on Sunday. I said Rivera looked sucked out. Like his face just looked like he had to take off some weight. So my own thought, I don't know if that's true or not, is if he can get his weight under control or under control come Big Ten's nationals,
yeah.
then he's gonna have all the energy that kid needs to score because he scores points in bunches. So if his weight's good, he'll have his energy and he could go on a run at both of them. I realistically think this would be a great. I didn't mean that many grades, but I was stuttering. This would be a great nationals if they got 4 All Americans. I realistically think they get 3, but I think 4 isn't out of the realm.
Four definitely the high end if you throw
You need
Rivera
to get
and you
hot.
throw.
You need a guy to get hot.
But dude, like 57 is kind of just a mess of just crazy names. But with the way Zargo wrestles, he could definitely make it happen. But 2 weeks ago, after Fugit's loss, I would have been a little hesitant to say that he'd be back on the podium. But beating Ayala is a huge win, and just the way he's wrestling right now, he does look really good. But I think Amos and Fugit, but then on the outside looking in is Zargo and Rivera. But dude, if you have the problem of being sucked down and this and that, multiple matches and multiple weight cuts in a 3 day span is definitely not going to play in your.
That's why weight's got to be under control and your
You got
body's
to
got
be
to
have that
start
shit locked in.
where it's regularly like your body's so used to being at I don't know 128 or something where like it just naturally won't get over that during the season.
Also, I just feel the whole other part of the 125 weight class is just the fact that like you got to be ready to go quick. Like you have a very short turnaround time, and that's got to be so hard to manage. I couldn't imagine that. I never had that problem. I mean, the fact that
Yeah.
unless you make weight and they pick up card and you're starting at a different
Well,
weight duel, but the fact that like you got to
And
make weight,
here's
you got to eat, you've got to go work out, get your warm up in, and then you're competing all within maybe 2 hours. Is it 2 hour weigh-in? I'm not sure, but
I
that's
believe
a
so.
that's a lot to kind of
And
get going in a
here's
short.
the thing, though, is
And if
like
your
we also
weight's
got to take
down to
into
begin
account
with,
like how, huh?
if you're already sucked down and then you're refueling,
Oh,
your
yeah.
body's going through a lot of stuff.
But I was just gonna say, like, take into account how deep are some of these weights. Like 133, I know we're talking about Zan as we would consider him an All-American, but let me read you the top 10 here.
Dude, it's crazy.
Lucas Burke, Ben DeVino, Ryan Crookham, who was number one all last year before injury, Evan Frost, Kyler Larkin, Marcus Blaze, Tyler Knox, Jacob Van Dyke, Jack Forrest just entered in at number 9.
Chaos.
10, Dan Fugit, Drake Ayala at 11. Like this weight class is a solid 12. Like the number 12 guy could make the national finals type of thing.
I would also say the same thing about 157.
But we didn't pick Meckler as a possible All
Or
American.
no, I'm sorry, Zargo at, well, let me think of,
49.
let me see, 49.
33 might be the most deep weight class out there this year. Van
Dude,
Ness,
actually,
Harris, Styles, Valencia, Frost, Buskins, Swiderski, Young.
I
I
don't,
think
I don't
that is
actually, I like Zargo. I don't know why I kept thinking Zargo was 57 with Duke and all them. Dude, 50, 49. I don't know. A lot of underclassmen, a lot. Jackson Joy did look freaking.
guys that have had not
Don't
consistent
go down
performances.
on him. Van Ness is probably a pretty steady lock up top. He's looking really good, but I don't. Yeah,
But like
that's an
Carter
interesting
Young's number
list.
9. He was right there with him in that Maryland duel. Like that's a match he could win. He's got to
Yeah.
make a small adjustment, but you wrestle that again, like that's a match he can win, and that guy's 9. So yeah, I think Zargo's in the mix. Fugit, like if you All American at 33 come nationals, you were wrestling like your best all year because that weight class is absurd.
It is kind of nuts. There's a lot of fun weights. God, I cannot wait for D1s. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Badgers 9-1. Keep it rolling. But short on time. But do we want
Touch on the last thing we saw.
a
What did you
little
think?
RAF action? Henschel
He
scores first on Bassett.
and he
That was a
almost
nice
had the
shot.
second takedown.
That was a very nice shot. I was like, damn, coming out firing. But
I mean, it was 4. He got 2 more in that exchange.
it was 4-2, and then Bassett got the takedown or something.
No, well, he shot again, and I think he got exposure points, and then
Yeah.
Bassett got
Yep.
points, and then Caden got points, something like that. But then yeah, Bassett put him on top. But what'd you think? Did you think it was gonna be even that competitive? Because I'd say it was competitive until Bassett got on top.
I mean, Henschel looked good for that first 30 seconds.
I
But
mean, I would agree.
you would have to do. I just don't know how anyone can keep up with Bassett for 6 minutes. Dude,
That would be
does he just do cardio 24/7? That dude can't doesn't stop. I don't know like it's crazy. And watching what he did to Hawken, knowing how good Hawken was. When I watched them in the Fargo semifinals, there was just no answer. And Hawken's a really good hand fighter. Bassett's hands, I've just never seen a high school kid move his hands like that. Once he then wrestled some older guys at like a trials, you kind of saw his issues when he would get to a shot like a Brock Hardy was able to slow him down and score from those positions. But like, damn, he's good. But no, Henschel, that shot was really nice. Henschel's got some great leg attacks. He's strong. You could tell he's powerful. But that half bar combo was just nasty. That's some Jack Forrest. That's what Jack Forrest did in the Fargo finals against Mendoza the one year. I remember watching it, and I think Mendoza had maybe beat Forrest at one point at the Open, and then Forrest that bar half and just rolled him up. It's crazy. But did you watch the full card?
No, I tried, but I was also watching the Packer game.
Yeah, I watched some of it, or most. I would say 80% of it. I don't know why they don't put anything on social media. It blows my mind. Like if I join in late and I'm like, "What's happened?" You have no idea what's happened. You don't know what match
don't
is
even have
on.
the
You don't know.
winners.
Like,
Yeah.
give me like
Yeah,
a
you
clip of like, "Here's your champ at this weight. We're going at about 4." Like I don't. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason why they're not sharing that info. But the lack of social media is really
Well,
weird.
I remember
But it
when we
sucks.
did the duel with Fight Pass, they didn't want to give away the endings, not on, but that was not on
But that's a
their
whole. This is
account.
fine.
Well, they did it on their account. They did. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I
I
don't
get
know
it,
why.
but like, I
Come
don't
on,
know.
RAF. Post a damn result. You don't have to post all the clips, but you need to
Yeah.
post a graphic of the winner or something, or the
I don't know. It's
result.
just weird. Or give me a couple clips, or say that this is the match we're on. I don't know.
The
Um,
title, the interview at the end. Give the guy doing the interview. Post that clip.
yeah. So it was good up until the main event. It's just like, oh god, why do we have to watch this? Like these dudes weren't even good wrestlers in their prime. Like, what are we doing here? Like, Rockhold didn't even wrestle in college.
Oh, really? I
No,
didn't know
I don't
that.
think so.
I
And
thought he did. Cole
he
Covington, I
said
thought was All American.
Covington was an All American. So in his prime, he was an All American. But for Rockhold to say in his press conference that like the style didn't match his technique and it wasn't vicious enough, so he couldn't wrestle. Freestyle is way more vicious than folk style. You can literally plant someone on their head and get rewarded for it. You were just too good at freestyle to want to wrestle in college just because it wasn't your style. Like what the like what? It was weird. And then they were saying like they built. It's just the whole. I don't know. It was weird to see two UFC guys come in, shit talk wrestling, and then it did feel like they get their payday and they're out.
Well,
And it
I
was a
do.
very subpar match. It was not fun to watch. Like I don't
It
really
should have
want to
been
watch
should have
Cejudo and
been
Faber
game.
wrestle next time. Cejudo's gonna kick his ass.
I do want to watch Cejudo wrestle though.
I'll watch Cejudo wrestle all day, but Faber, like, that's not fun. And I know why. Cejudo doesn't want to wrestle a really good up and comer. They're gonna give him Faber, two UFC guys. There's a history there, cool. But like, I don't know, that's kind of dumb. But like Steve Mako wrestling, I don't know. You'll
I
remember
wanted to watch that. I
Buchanan,
watched that one.
but now you
So
watched it and you're like, well, he got whooped. Buchanan beating the brakes off Romero after what Romero just did to Downey was very interesting. Like, but then again, that's like a 48-year-old dude. I'm like, Buchanan's in his prime. He just won a national title. I don't
I
know.
do
Some
think
of it is just so mixed match for me that I like the matches like a Dake Kadik or a Khadid. Well, that's a great match. I like that one. Real Woods, like those, like
I don't
DeSanto
mind
and
some of those other matches though, even though they're older people. For
but
multiple
Covington Rockhold was just like, ugh.
because I do want to see all these UFC people are like, this guy's so good at wrestling, blah blah blah, and it's like, all right, then let's fucking see. Oop.
But that's the
But
other
let's
issue
see.
is like,
That's
yeah,
part
they
of why I
probably
want it.
are good at wrestling, but they don't. These guys aren't training wrestling. There's such a like,
Yeah, I know. That's my point, though. It's like you're not. You're not good at wrestling. You're good
I know,
at
but
mixed martial arts. So like I like that for that because I want to see it. It's like, all right, how good are they at wrestling? Because saying you're good at wrestling in the octagon has nothing to do with saying you're good at wrestling in wrestling.
agree.
So I like seeing that because it's like, all right, where do they stand? But two, the wrestling world, and it's starting to change. I do think it's starting to change. Even some of our high school guys are starting to get into it, and I've applauded it every time. You can't if the wrestling world wants to make money and draw eyes, you need personality, you need emotion. You can't be the oh, I'm so happy, I'm really thankful for all of this, blah blah blah. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
sure, some people will be like that, but you need people that okay, love them or hate them. You kind of want to watch Pat Downey wrestle. You kind of want to watch AJ Ferrari wrestle.
and
You know,
shout out to Downey for
I'm not
scrapping on
saying they're
every
good
card.
people. I'm not saying they're good people. JJ Ferrari just had a mugshot, right? I'm not saying he's a good person, but I'm saying he draws eyes, right? Like, and it's the same thing with UFC. These guys, you can be a respectable human in life. Ben, we know Ben very personally. Ben, very respectable human. There are things he like. He won't say stuff about a family when he's trash, you know, stuff like that. There's some lines that he won't cross. I get that. A lot of people won't either, but he understands to bring eyes and bring attention to a sport. You have to sell tickets. You have to sell those views, and to do that you got to talk a little smack. Ben is one of the
Yeah,
nicest people I know, one of the most giving people I know in my entire life. And he knows that you have to promote. You can't just walk around and be the respectful, humble, thankful guy to be here.
it's tricky though because then you get guys that just don't have that in their
Because he
DNA.
has
So
to
it's a weird. It's the duality of it. But another thing, like the Muggsy dude wrestling the other guy that was like not good either at wrestling, and Muggsy gets teched. Can we be done with this guy? I get that he's got a big following, but the dude can't wrestle. Like I don't. And the Poulos guy, I don't really know his background. I guess he like wrestles people on the street, take me down kind of deal. with a sign. I thought I saw a video like that, but it's like, I don't know. I get what they're doing, and it's the marketing. They're getting eyes, but some of it
You
is
got
just
to grow
very
eyes
fabricated.
at the
It
same
does
time. It's the
feel
beginning of it. You have to grow the eyes and people wanting to follow it before you can go to say UFC where it's only the best people. Like you have to bring the attention to it first.
I
Otherwise,
know.
people don't know what's happening.
But it'll be. I'm glad that for every shitty match, we get like one good match. So hopefully they keep up with that. I like that.
The other thing is you're bringing all these eyes of like people that are say followers of the TikTok guy with the take me down $1,000 and Muggsy. Those guys have such great value because they're bringing a bunch of eyes of people that are not
I
as
get what they're
into
doing.
wrestling. But when they watch a Luke Rockhold, Colby Covington, they're like, "That's a great match." Because they're not wrestling regularly. They're not. Maybe they're a high school wrestler, or maybe they didn't even really wrestle. They're just following it now. Now they're like, that's a really great match because they don't see the little intricacies that some of us do because we
Hundred
wrestled in
percent.
college.
I
So it's
get.
different. It's a
I
different viewing for other people.
I 100% the reason they're doing it. It's marketing 101. But like, I turn off the matches that aren't like. I just like. I guess they get
For
eyes
us,
and they.
maybe.
Yes, but 100%. I agree with what you're saying. It's the marketing. It's the getting eyes on the sport. But it's like, I don't know, a little fabricated sometimes. But interesting that Wick and O'Toole were supposed to scrap. They now get different matchups. It's Keegan and
Chamizo.
Gizo, and then Kadik and Wick. Crazy. I love it. Very happy. I get to see both of them scrap now and not against each other.
I
As
didn't want to see them
intrigued as
wrestle.
I was for that match, there is a little bit of just like, it's like you, I don't know. It's interesting if you look at Wick's training situation. He's training with people that have then brought up Keegan, and it's just like, well, let's get both of them a different match.
Chamizo Keegan is awesome.
Welcome back to the mat. You're not just going to go wrestle some rankings tournament or a domestic tournament. You're going to go wrestle on probably the now
Next world
biggest stage
champ.
in wrestling, and you're going to go wrestle a freaking dog who's one of the best.
Well, he's a little old now. He's getting old. He's getting old. But yeah, he
But
was one of the best. He was a world champ at one point, and in
some of
his
the matches
prime,
that him and Dake have had over the years are just like beautiful. The stuff that
his
he can do,
defense is insane.
and that's the thing that I'm super excited for. Is Keegan's got some great leg attacks, his outside step, his ducks, his shots.
And
It's
Keegan can scramble. So
very
if
well.
those two, I just can imagine some of the scrambles that they could potentially get in. Oh,
I'm curious of what weight it's at because I know Keegan's a little heavier just because he's been out. So it's like, is the weight?
Hazel probably is too.
So it's like, is Keegan going to be used to? Because there's always that you move up a couple weights or a little bit of pounds, and you move a little differently. Your body moves a little bit differently.
I bet they wrestle
Be
at like
good.
180 is my
I would
guess. That's
say,
like middleweight. Isn't that like middleweight and like
yeah, because they're both listed as a middleweight, but I don't really know what the weights are. Man, the
I
whole
think
weight
middleweight's
fiasco
like
is
180.
interesting too with the whole weigh-in situation.
They need
I've heard a
to
lot of
stay
different things about that.
consistent. You can't be switching weigh-ins. I don't care if it's Thanksgiving like they did once, or if it's what you weigh in
Wild.
on the same schedule every single time. I don't care if it's a holiday or what. If you scheduled an event that same time as a holiday, whatever. That it's the event. Weigh-ins
That
need to stay the
was
same. They don't change for anything.
that was definitely interesting. But yeah, I'm excited for RAF06 end of February. I think it's on the same day as the state finals for Wisconsin, so that kind of sucks. So we won't be
In
watching.
Arizona, I
Uh,
will be watching the state finals. That's for certain.
and honestly, besides Keegan and Wick, I'd probably want to watch the state finals. But um, interesting. It'll be interesting to see the matches they continue to make. Caden's been on every card. I wonder if he's going to be on another one.
I'm sure he will be in the future. I mean, he's 2-1 right now.
Yeah. Who was his for? He wrestled Muggsy and then oh, he wrestled the old guy. Who was that? I forgot already.
UFC fighter, Clay Guida.
Oh, the wood chopper or whatever his nickname is, the
Dude,
Axeman.
Clay Guida was crazy. I used to watch UFC back in the day. I don't watch it as much anymore, but like when I was young and UFC was coming up, I used to watch a lot of it. Clay Guida
What's
was
crazy that Caden posted that picture of like Quay Guida was winning a UFC title when Caden was like 6 years old.
yeah.
It's like, all right, it's just crazy. But well, that's all I got. You got anything else for us?
No, we had a long show today, but it was great.
It was a
A lot
fun
of
show.
people stuck around.
We thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be live, or I'll be live from the Norski this weekend at DeForest. And then next week we got the Highlander. It's crazy. We've got
Beautiful.
3 more weeks of the season, and then we're into conference play, and it'll be February before we know it. But we thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.